Hello and welcome to your drawing the clothes demonstration. So we'll start out easy. For this one, she's just wearing a t-shirt, so I can see the t-shirt stitching. I can see the stitching along the top of the shoulder, and we're gonna put in wrinkles. So if you're just wearing something simple, it's just the wrinkles and the stitching that you need to put in. For the clothing, I would also value map while I'm drawing it, so let me put in the stitching first. So I did already do the shoulder contour outline. I'm giving myself like a line as it passes through the grid and becomes a little thicker and it hits the hand. Oh, pretty much like right there at the very end. I am looking at how there's like a double line of kind of stitching in there. So drawing super lightly, holding my pencil in the middle. Okay, so then I'm going to do some value mapping. She has a little bit of a like a slight, oh, actually let me put the stitching in over here. And it passes through this line. And it lines up like in the middle of here. Okay, so coming from there, it's like the curve of her shoulder a little bit. So I see like a darker kind of value in there, and it fades out like right here. So I'm just gonna give myself an outline for that. Okay, over here, there's a slight wrinkle. So I'm just going to do the outline of it because the center is a little bit lighter. Very slight. I haven't done the hand yet. That's in the next video. Okay, so on this side of her shoulder, I have the shadow cast from her face or her hair. But I'm going to flip up the grid and see, can I see any other detail? Okay, yeah, I can kind of see the stitching detail. And even if you can't see it, especially if you're wearing dark clothes or black, you're gonna just add it in there. You can look at your original image, you can put on that shirt and look in the mirror. Like you're gonna have to, if you wore black, like we asked you not to, you're gonna have to fake it a little bit because just solid black clothing is not acceptable. You want detail. Or you can get a different picture of yourself with a similar shirt on. Okay, so that is in box 9G. 9G. Okay, so I have the stitching over here. So you want to pay pretty close attention at the way like a line on the clothing reacts. Ooh, actually I had some of her shoulder. Sorry, I was moving the grid. It's hard to see with the grid on. It has some shoulder stitching I never drew right in there. Actually, that might need to come over a little bit more. Maybe about to the middle of this box. Yeah, it curves out all the way to there. Okay, so stitching pretty much runs. Okay, so then she has more wrinkles on this side. So I kind of look at like the reason why this is kind of wobbly looking is because there is a wrinkle attached on here. And it just kind of fades into the dark. Okay, then we have the outline for it, like the edge of it. I have a little wrinkle that comes up in G10. Okay. Another little wrinkle that comes up. And then there's that curvature. So then this is all shadow that kind of comes down. So I'm outlining the wrinkles. And then in general, I'm kind of noticing like here's where it starts fading out on her shoulder. So I'm going to kind of give myself like a little guideline over here, like, hey, start fading out there. So that's for simple clothing. For more complex, or if you have a pattern or some kind of detail on the clothing, like Daniel, you're going to draw that as best you can, and then we'll layer in some texture to make it look a little bit more real. Okay, so he has, I drew this part already. He does have a cast shadow from his clothing in there. And so I'm noticing that it's a little bit thicker as it's in the 9 box, and then it kind of fades out almost to itself there. So he has a cast shadow from the clothing on his skin. So I'll definitely put that on there. Then looking at his stitching, so now I'm in box 10B. And he has the collar that got cut off, but I can still see part of it. And then I have the stitching. And I'm going to give myself a couple of guidelines. I'm not going to do all of them, but he has like a slightly striped shirt on. It's kind of hard to see. You can kind of see the, oh, no, you really can't. Well, it's more visible like on the right-hand side. So he has like little lines, like the texture of it. So I'm just going to give myself like a couple of guidelines for how they flow. Like they kind of dip in here. So there's like a crease. Because then it would change direction over here. And on this piece, actually. So there's a piece here, and I'm in D10. Scoot that over for you guys. Okay, there we go. D10. Okay, so I have some stitching I can kind of start to see there. Okay, so then the lines kind of change direction on his clothing here. So I'm giving myself a couple guidelines of how, oh, that's hard for you guys to see, sorry. Well, gently, do your guidelines gently. So I made a couple marks where the lines are on the clothing there. Over here, some guidelines, because his shirt is like layered texture. Looking at how that color pretty much lines up right on that line. We have some of the stitching. And then he has like, it's kind of puckery, so not perfect over here. Okay, so here's the stitching from his shoulder, comes down, 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 down. Okay, so now this is where he has like some shadows and wrinkles that we're gonna put in. I apologize. Oh wait, no, I am in the right, at first nope, I am in the right box. Okay, I thought I was not in the right box. Don't always double check. I've been doing this for a long time and I still will, like this is in the wrong box right here actually. I'll still put stuff in the wrong box. Okay, so we got that wrinkle. Just like stitching there. Like this side of his shoulder, like a shadow. While I'm here, I'm going to give myself like, oh, what kind of shape is that? Yeah. Pretty much took up like a whole box right there. He has like a highlighted area. He has like some dark kind of values in there a little bit. In general, up here, like it starts to fade out here. So I can give myself some value mapping guidelines. So you want to draw the contour outline, the stitching of your clothing. You're gonna, if there's a texture or a pattern, you're gonna add that. And I would outline like the wrinkles. And this one is a wrinkle, but then it does have like a shadow right next to it. So I could add that in and maybe super gently, I would just say like, hey, that's gonna be the shadow. All right, so there is clothing for you. The next demonstration is hands. So if you have hands in your image, you're going to watch that one. All right, I'll see you in the next video.